Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now, it's real time.
Welcome back, everyone. Ken Vellante. Ken, it's good to meet you, man.
Thank you for inviting me on the show.
I will say, owner of Coldwater Strong. You can find his products online. Very simple to do. Fisherman's Marine has them for sure. There's one up north. I'm not sure the name of that place because they don't sponsor our show. Bob's. I'm kidding. Bob's. I love them up there. Yeah. Coldwater Strong. Great products that you can use to be more efficient. Use your time on the water better. And if you're like me, lazy, and you want to have just the best setup and something you can click together to be effective, he makes it all. And I'm going to tell you right now, when he came in this morning, I got a couple questions. So let me get there before I get into what I was going to say. How in the world did you get into this, number one?
Well, you know, I've been an avid fisherman just like you, all our lives growing up around here. But we started out as bank baggers, right?
I know.
And so before we got our expensive boats, so, you know, basically in the business of making other products related to flashers, using the same materials to build these long lines.
Okay. And that's what you call them, long line setups?
Yes,
okay.
long line setups. You know, so, and these setups are basically used for like those, you know, you have to take them out with a kayak.
Right.
But before we traditionally use 50-pound, 40-pound braided line, tangles up.
Sure.
So I wanted to come up with a design that actually is tangle-free.
Well, we're going to get there, everyone. You ain't tangling this stuff. It's made of what, 200 pound?
200 pound.
200 pound mono.
200 pound mono.
Crimped.
Crimped, all machine crimped.
And you pretty much guarantee those crimps?
Yes, yes, they all been engineered.
Yeah, that's a big question mark for a lot of people in the back of the head. They're like, hey,
exactly.
Crimps.
We don't sit there and hand crimp these things. Okay. We have all pneumatic machines to do all the crimping.
All right, now we're going to show you those in a minute, but I want to learn more about Ken. So how long have you been doing this?
Actually, the company has been up and going for about 8 years now. So we've been attending all the sportsman shows and introducing all these new products. And we tend to be innovative.
Sure.
And we want to look at things to make newcomers and veteran fishermen out there have the easiest time to have out there. Quick and easy, get out there, catch your fish, get home.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I've spent a lot of time on the bank over the years chasing salmon. 99.99% of the time, we're throwing, 12, 14 ounces, 15, or 15. They don't make that. 20 ounces of lead, bombing them out there for spring chinook, whatever it might be. The last couple of years kind of learned that, of course, that is absolutely deadly effective in that time of year. But during the fall chinook season, that's not really how most people go after them anymore. They're using wobblers. There's even folks out there now that are running 360 flashers and sliding them down their gear, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But 3 wobblers, 10-foot gaps, floats on everything.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it earlier, people are running them out with kayaks.
With kayaks.
Now, I've already mentioned that in the beginning, and now I've been fishing a long time, there was nobody doing this 15 years ago or more. Running stuff out with kayaks, and then when they started doing that, there was conflict for good reason. But those things have kind of worked themselves out a little bit.
Yeah, it has eased the tension between the boaters and the bankers.
Yeah.
And now we have zones related from Bonneville all the way down to Dibley's Beach, all the way down
even further,
further down that boats and bank fishermen are coexisting.
Yeah.
So it's a good reason.
It works perfect. Yeah, it's really, from the boat, it's very good opportunities, right? I mean, you can really put yourself in great position to catch fish.
Well, boy,
no question said.
You can
but from the bank, I will tell you right now that if you focused on fishing from the bank year-round, you never owned a boat, never dropped your line in with a boat, didn't do anything. You just fished from the bank, you're going to outfish me. It's just that simple. Okay, I can honestly say that the guys that catch more fish than anybody else, they don't even own a boat. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, and plus you're dropping it right in the zone. So once you get out there and you see your other fellow fishermen on the bank, and you start seeing them get fish on, you politely come up and say, what do you have on your line counter?
Yeah.
And then you're in the zone.
That's another thing we're going to talk about. Okay, so hold on. Now, before we cut to a break, I want to lift this thing up. We're going to come back. We're going to have what we call our Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week, and I do this the easy way. I try to lean on the experts, just like Ken here. And what we're going to show you when we come back is how this system actually works. Now, this is just 2 of 3 of the Simon or even Brad's wobblers, whichever one it is that you like. We can get that third one after a while.
Yep.
But this is what you're going to be looking at. You got a float on your leader. everything is crimped together. It's got dual locks everywhere. So this is just snap, 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 get it out there.
Yep.
And now this is actually shrunken size.
Yeah.
Typically it's what? Between the two?
You're going to have about 25 foot in length. So you're covering 25 feet of water column from the sandbag to your last. And so basically, you got a good opportunity to
that's
presentation.
That's why you just will outfish boats. I mean, think about this. It's like having 3 rods for yourself on one stick, all right? And if presented correctly.
Yes.
And the grass is pretty much gone right now that I've noticed, or the last couple trips out. You have some really good options,
And that's
especially with different baits. You can put different colors and everything out there.
And that's related because we have the 3 hook rule.
Right.
And that's why we can run
3
3
rigs. With even trebles. A lot of people are like, I can't run trebles. No, treble's just a hook.
Yes, it's just a hook. So
Yeah.
that gives a lot of the bank the opportunity to run 3 of these.
All right, now we're going to come back. We're going to break this down. We're going to talk about why there's floats on here, why it's set up this way, and how you can use it to your advantage. And I'm going to tell you right now, if it looks kind of crazy, just imagine not having to tie it all up yourself.
Correct.
That's even better. We'll be back with Ken in just a couple minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive new Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.